Supporting your horse, regardless of age, through seasonal changes, because we change from element to element, and right now it's colic season, up and down, up and down, up and down, hot, cold, hot, cold. And what we want to do is we want to keep their gut working. We want to strengthen and modulate and balance their immune system. And we also want to, for lack of a better term, keep their original chi from their kidneys flowing. So I'm just going to give you a couple of points.
What would be a better term for that?
The energy that's passed on to you from your parents.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's stored in the kidneys. And as we grow older, you know, or younger in my case, your hair gets gray because your kidneys are depleting themselves of original chi. And, you know, all the things with old age. But anyway, we want to keep their immune system and their gut working. And the two major points are master points. And all you have to remember is all you need to do is scratch them for either 30 seconds or until you get a release from them. A release can be them walking away. It can be a lick and chew. It can be a big sigh. It can be a, you know, evacuate the bowels and bladder, everything else. I was going to say something else, but we're on video. And so the first one, if you can, you know, this is why it's really important to desensitize their legs to your touch. You want to cup their stifle with your hand and roll in, and you'll feel a little depression, and that's stomach 36. And once you find it, you just scratch it and watch. And, you know, if you don't get a release, you just, you know, let it go in about 30 seconds. And she's blinking her eyes pretty like crazy. She's looking at her spleen 21, which is another colic point. There we go. So you see the lick and chew. So I just go to the other side and do the same thing there. So you cup the stifle, roll your I'm sorry, sweetheart. Cup the stifle, roll your thumb in until you feel a depression, and just scratch. We call it tonifying. Let her move. Yeah, let her move. And she'll stop.
She says they can't see where you're doing, Bill.
Right.
I'm going to turn around.
Right. She wants her head around this way.
Thank
See,
you,
she's
Fawn.
already licking and chewing, so I'm going to stop. One thing we want to be real careful of is not to give a full acupressure treatment to any horse under 2 years old. They just, you know, it just doesn't work well with them. So that's stomach 36. That's for the gastrointestinal system and the immune system. Okay. The second master point that I'd like to point out is a little bit trickier. And it's spleen 6. It's inside the thigh. And so what we do is we start at the hock, we go up halfway to the, you know, top of the poverty groove here, and then we go half again, and then we slowly reach inside until we can feel that saphenous vein. You see how she leaned into me when I got it? And it's right on the inside of the thigh, and you'll feel that vein. It's very large. And just scratch that or rub it. It's called tonifying. And there was an eye blink. The head drop from here is also an indication that they release, and you'll energize that meridian.
Can you just repeat that it's lung?
Okay, the lung one is located on the chest, and you just, you know, if you don't know the exact location, you can just scratch up and down on the you know, front end of the pectoral muscle here, and you'll hit it. And you just wait for a release.
And that was for colic?
Upper respiratory, yeah. And I'll go to the other side. There we go. And sometimes they'll just release immediately as soon as you touch. The other one that I want to show you is really important when we have babies, especially, or oldsters in the cold weather. It's the triple heater, and that gets their you know, temperature regulation really balanced. That doesn't mean you won't have to blanket them, but they'll be able to handle it a little bit better. You just look for the back rib And on these little ones, you can do it with your hand. You'll feel a soft depression right up at the hip, like this. Well, then you just go halfway. That's the triple heater, right here. And when it's cold, right, yeah, back of the rib, and then right up at the point of the hip, and then just drop your finger halfway, and that's where you tonify it in the cold weather. In other words, you scratch it, and that brings up their heat. When it's hot and you can see that they're like in the summertime and they're distressed, you can hold it. But we're not going to do that. We're not going to depress the triple heater here. Okay? And she's eating. I don't really care whether she eats or not. So once again, last rib, point of the hip, halfway, and scratch.
When we're inside, can you